Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Now we're about to go ahead and put the front and rear end on to the HPI Savage. I've already put the new mounting screws in on the opposite side, so we're ready to get going on this. This right here is the front end, which we are going to go ahead and put aside for now. So we have room here to go ahead and mount up the rear end to this. As you can see, this thing is a beast. It's the size of the as wide as the table. It ain't no little tiny kid's toy. This used to be nitrous. That's why it's so greasy. It will no longer get greasy like that. So, let's go ahead and get this going. We gotta line this sucker right up here. We're gonna have to pull some aluminum apart a little bit here to get it over where it belongs. A little finesse onto its pin. It's got a pin that bottom hole has to slide onto. Come on, pin. There we go. Now we got it on there, see? That's right now is not mounted. It's just got those two pins right there. If you can see, the little purple pin, that's a little pin that holds it in place. So now we gotta go ahead and screw this sucker on. What screws are we going to use for this? Oh crap, I forgot my mounting pole. I have a mounting pole that I have to put in here, and that's right here. It has the actual screws for it. This I have the screws to. So, let's go ahead and get this on in here. It's a nice snug fit. Boom. Snapped in. Now let's go ahead. Let me see if I can get you guys a better angle. Beautiful. And we will screw this on. Wait a second, I need a Phillips head bit. Phillips head. Come on. Be the right size for it. Beautiful. Alright, let's screw this sucker in. Any normal time I would probably take the tire off, but I don't really know what my tire tool is. Little difficult with the tires on because right now they're free flowing. Oh crap. Hold up, wait a second. I forgot about something, guys. The axle. So let's pop this screw back up before it goes in too far. And make sure I get the right axle for this one. Is it that one that's there, or is it this one that's here? Nope, this is the front one, this is the rear one. Alright, let's pop that free a little. So I pop that in there. And try to get that in there. Beautiful, there we go. We got the axle in. Boom, she's on. Now see? Axle's on. Now, let's get that screw back in there. That's not the right screw, is it? Nope, it is the right screws. Okay. Gotchas. Let's get that. Try to get that started by hand. Oh, crap. Alright. She wants to be a little difficult, so we're not going to allow her to be that difficult. You're going to go on right, and that is that. Get in your place. There we go. Now we can screw it in nicely, tightly, snug, because it's plastic. I say before, everybody, got to be careful with plastic. You don't want to strip it out. So now we will go ahead and turn her around here like so, and make sure you guys have still got the view. There we go. And next screw into that same post. See? Well, happens when you use the actual screws that are to it. See all that grease getting pushed out? It's because she's dirty. Nitro is very dirty. Alright, let's go ahead and flip her. Alright, see the bottom? Everything gets screwed on nice and tight. I got to put a screw in here. That screw got lost. That's great. I lost a screw. I will have to find one because that goes into another plastic piece that holds the whole entire axle frame together. But what am I going to do here? These are little ones. Let's see. Is this the right ones? No, those are not the right ones. I gotta find the right ones, and I think it's these two right here. Yep, there we go. That's another good thing about the electric. Don't have to worry about the screws rattling out anymore. Because now there's no more vibration. Without vibration, screws do not rattle out. They will stay where they belong. Oh, you hear that? That's all that grease that's in there. Good old days of Nitro. Alright, nice and snug. Now that's on there, see? Nicely on there. Ain't going nowhere. Not anytime soon, see? Not going nowhere. Beautiful. Alright, now we do have to get screws in here. That's going to be a little more difficult. Those screws are plastic housing. Yes, plastic housing. I believe it was this one. Or was it these? I think it might be these. Let me check. I give it a shot. No, it's not those little ones. Was it this one? Which would be this one and this one. You know what? Let's go to the new toolkit. If you're having trouble there with the originals, check and see if the new one has anything wide enough for this. That one's wide. And that one's wide. And the good thing is, it's a skinny tool, so let's see how this will work for me. Connie, you gonna screw in? Oh yeah, she's going in. Oh yeah. Look at that. New screw kit, everybody. Nice to do replacements. But it's not long enough. It's not reaching. There's no bite. Damn. That's a little bit of a problem there. See? No bite. So now I'm going to have a little trouble because I got to get that out. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this out. Because there's no bite there with that width. So that means, you know what that means, right? I need a wide screw for this. Or a long screw. It might be the length. Let me see. Do I have anything longer in here that's that wide? No, they all seem to be short. I need long bite on these. Longer, wider bite. And I do not have a longer, wider bite. Do I have them in here? And it is not looking promising. So it's starting to look like I am going to have no choice but to use some old school techniques. Because, yeah, that hole is a deep, deep hole. Which here's my old school bag. I had to do this because I lost the actual screws to it. When you lose the actual screws to something, you got to improvise sometimes. And that's what I had to do before. With these right here. Was improvise. Ah, crap. Not going, huh? Alright, so that one's not working. That looks like that's got a bite. Hold on. You have a bite in there? No, you do not. So, that's a no-go. Alright, which means yes, it's going to have to be these long ones. I'm going to have to go in. Got you going. Sometimes you have to improvise, everybody. Now it's in, and it's going. Oh, let's get this over here a little better, so I can get a better look. Pull the shock towel back a little bit. Not too much stress on it, but got to put a little bit on there to get this screw in and secure. At least I know these ain't gonna pop out. These are wood screws I had no choice but to use before because of the purpose of nitrous. Makes the whole thing rattle, and when it rattles, screws get loose. When screws get loose, they fall out and disappear. So that's one side on. Alright, that's one. Let's go ahead and grab the other one that's like that and pull the shock towel back a little bit. Get it on there. And start screwing her in. Not crossed. We want it straight. There we go. There we go. Now we'll pass the shock tower and she got bite. See? As you can see, working on a big machine like this isn't that easy. But trust me, this is only 8 scale. There is bigger. I would love to have a 5th scale, but I ain't got $1,000 to throw away on an RC. Let's get that nice and snug. There we go. Whew. And the ass end is on. See? I'm glad my shock oil is still working. And as you can see, the gearing is all working. Now for the front end, which is a much bigger piece because it's where all the workings are. All the workings for my servos and all, for my steering servo, because I had trouble with my steering before, are all in here. So yeah, and this was originally for my throttle, which I don't know why. Do I have this bot on here? Wait a second. This is This is the section for the ring and brake. This is the braking bar. This is the bar that goes in here to control my brake. Alright, so that servo is going to be my brake servo. Got you. Alright, I got to take this off of here now because this stuff is not going back on. I got a whole new setup for it. So, let's see. There we go. That removes that. Because I got a new setup for it. Totally new setup. These are my two servos. It's going to be my brake servo. Well, let me take this down for a second so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Alright. Here's the front end. These are my servos. This is a waterproof servo that I purchased. I purchased it because obviously I like playing off-road. As you can see, here's the steering mechanism right here for it to steer back and forth. Pardon me. There is a lot to this part. As you can see down here, there's all kinds of screws and everything else. Underneath this plating, there are other screws that hold other things in place. Not going to play with that stuff right now. What I got to play with right now is getting it mounted on. Which obviously you see the drive shaft is still intact. I never took these parts apart. So, first things first, we're going to go ahead and take the wishbone. Throw that puppy in there. Alright? I still have this. Oh crap. My steering servo was coming loose. Cannot have that coming loose. That is not a good thing. Let me see this so I can check that down a little. There we go. That's better. Also have that little side one here. I got a side one on this side here, the screw, that I can tighten up as well when I need to. But right now we're not going to deal with that. I will deal with adjustments on a separate time. Alright. But now, you are going to start to see what I'm talking about a large vehicle. And I put this thing together the wrong way. I put the accent on the wrong side, guys. My fault. I'm going to go ahead and fix the front and the rear, and I will be back. Now I just fixed that little mistake, so now we can get back to business, where we are doing this up nicely. Let me go ahead and pause this for a second. I'll be right back, everybody. All right, everybody, we're back to it again here. We got everything going good, and now it's the front end's turn. So let's see if we can do this without making a mistake this time. Where's my wishbone? I need the wishbone. Here's the wishbone. Need to put that in first. Alright. Now this already has its mount right there for me, which is great. Won't have to worry so much about that. And here I go. Let's see with this one. We got to fit the electronics box in there as well as the whole front system. Which, let's get this wishbone in place. Alright, let me turn this around so you guys can see. Move some screws out of the way here. And pick this up. Put it over here like this so you guys can see everything. See, here's the wishbone. I gotta make sure that stays in place for it. There we go. Now up against it. Oh man. Look at electronics box is gonna be a pain in the assets. Of course, as always. It usually is. Because I'm gonna have to loosen the screws on the transmission. Come on. Get in it. You were the one, weren't you? No? Wasn't that one. was this one, wasn't it? Yep, it's this one. Gotcha. Let's loosen these up a little bit. So I gotta get a little play to get this plastic piece in, because I forgot that it's got a pin that's got to go in a certain hole on the top there. So let's get one side loosened a little here. I will tighten these back up when I am all done. Let's go ahead and get that loose. Get it a little loose. A little loosey-goosey will always help to get it in place properly. So we can go like this, and all right. Oh no, I don't want to lose that wishbone. Do not lose the wishbone. The wishbone has to stay in place, please. Thank you. All right, we are forgetting about this box that has to be put in its place as well. All right. Oh shoot, the wishbone is out of place. There we go. Come on, get in your place. All right, I gotta stand up here. All right, come on. I know you fit in here because I had you in here before. I gotta get it to line up on the other side here with that hole. Don't know why I'm having so much trouble. Some things just never want to work out right, right? Right. All right, I think I know what I gotta do. I gotta loosen this up, screw a little bit more. Yeah, there's too much tension. All right, there we go. Now she'll line up. Boom, there. Now she's in her hole. Oh, man. Sometimes things are a pain in the assets. But you got to do what you got to do. It's a lot of work putting this thing back together. But it's okay. As long as you loosen one side, you can finesse shit. You can get it finessed in there. Tighten this one back up. Snug down, not too tight. Go too tight and you will strip out the plastic. There we go. Now she's in there, wishbone is in there. All set. See, as you roll, that gear spins. That is perfect. That's exactly what I want. All right, beautiful. Now we got to get screws for this. And this, and those little ones that I purchased will be perfectly fine for this. A lot of these holes were to hold the fuel tank and all the connecting rods and everything else to the throttle on a carburetor and all that, which used to be back here. This is going to be electric now. It is no longer going to be gas, no longer nitro. It's going to be an electric motor put in here. So we don't need all that little excess stuff. There's only one bar that's going to be needed, and that's the bar that goes from here to the brake, which is going to pull it like that and stops the vehicle. See, it won't roll now. Now it moves. See how it moves? Hold that, and it don't want to roll. That's to slow it down because they are very fast. Now, I'm not going to make you guys sit while I screw down all these screws that have to be screwed in, because there's about, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws that I have to screw in. So, everybody, you all have a great day. And as always, remember, everybody, be kind and rewind. Later, y'all.